All right, so today we're diving into the massive political shift happening in El Salvador right now. El Salvador just removed presidential term limits officially, potentially letting President Bukele to be president indefinitely. We're going to get into it today and a lot more. Stay tuned.
Welcome to the Latin Wealth Podcast, a podcast dedicated to educating the Latino community about entrepreneurship, investing, and business.
What's going on, Latin Wealth family? Welcome to another episode to Wealth Wednesday. Hopefully, you guys are blessed and doing well. If this is your first time listening to this podcast, go ahead and do us a huge favor. Show some love, subscribe, like, leave a comment. We definitely like to have dialogues with people throughout this conversation. So do us a huge favor, share it, leave a comment down below. And yeah, we're going to dive right into it today. We're going to be talking about El Salvador specifically. And before we get into the topic, my guy Jeremiah, how you feeling today? How you doing?
I'm laughing because I know where we're headed, and today's gonna be a good one because I already
Yeah.
know, man. You sent me a message before we started, and you were like, "This better not," and we're gonna get into that. But I
Okay,
was,
yeah. We
"Yo,
don't forget
I
that point.
didn't, I didn't,
Okay,
I
that's good.
didn't,
There's a point that we're gonna bring up
I didn't."
maybe towards the middle, the end. So stay tuned for the
Yeah,
whole conversation.
that's
But
right.
we're gonna be diving into it today. So this is some pretty massive news. I'm gonna share my screen. If you guys don't know who President Bukele is, this is just a couple pictures of him. He's pretty young. He's 44 years old. But just to give a little background about him, in 2019, he was elected and he was very, very popular when he was elected. 2024, he was reelected as the of El Salvador with 85% of the vote. So, landslide win. The majority of the people in El Salvador wanted him to continue to be president. And as you know, he's known for a bunch of different things, but he's most popularly known for making Bitcoin a legal tender in 2021 in El Salvador, and also known for cracking down on gangs in El Salvador, cleaning it up, and really making El Salvador a place where people are going for tourism, which is, I always tell Jeremiah, I actually went to El Salvador, I think back in 2017. And when I went back then, and like fast forward to seeing some of the videos like in 2022, 2023, people going out there having a good time. With all due respect, I didn't know like it changed that much because when
Mhm.
I went in 2017, you had to be careful. You got to be on your P's and Q's
Right,
out there.
right.
And like everything from what you drank, Jen, you just got to be discreet and low key out there. And so to see over time how people are going out there and enjoying the country, I'm like, man, that is beautiful to see. Definitely want to go back and experience, the other side of it. But in addition to the background, I also want to break down what happened on August 1st. All right. So essentially, what happened, El Salvador voted to limit presidential terms. It has been abolished, right? So not only has it been abolished, but presidential terms have extended from 5 years to 6 years. The next election is going to be delayed till 2027. And they also removed second round of voting. And if you guys are wondering, like, yo, how did this all play out in El Salvador? Was this for the people? Like, did did they want this? And this actually passed 57 to 3 margin. So I think there was only three people, I
Jeez.
think in the seats that voted against it, but 57 people voted for it. Um, and this ultimately opens up the door for it says the president to stay in power indefinitely. And this isn't a huge surprise, but it's crazy to see that this is passed and it's happening now. With all that being said, I'm gonna get out the way. Jeremiah, how are you feeling about this? When you first seen the article, When you first seen the headlines, what were you thinking?
To be honest, I was excited for them. Even though I know what this kind of sets up, and the foundation of it, but I was actually excited for El Salvador because, um, while it's a slippery slope, with him being in power, and they said kind of indefinitely, that tends to lead to him being a dictator. That's what everyone feels, right? But I mean, we've had countless examples back in the past of kings that were good, and the king reigned for 30, 40 years, so it's not overly against yeah, the world's coolest dictator. But I mean, but that I he hasn't earned that name, and
Dictator?
yeah, and simply
Yeah,
because somebody stays in office doesn't make them a dictator.
correct.
Instantly, in our brains, in recent history, we go to Fidel Castro, we go to Trujillo in
Hmm.
Dominican Republic, we go to Noriega in Panama, we go to all these different people, Pinochet in Chile, we go to all these different people, and we think about the negative, right? I'm gonna give you a good one to think about, and it didn't last indefinitely, but this is because of his health, but Franklin Delano Roosevelt,
Mm.
in the 30s through the end of World War One, and it's only because he was sick. I mean, he was bed stricken and stuff that he ended up going away. But like he stayed in office for 12 years,
Mm.
and the people were like, "Well, we were at war, and that's why." And I'm like, "Well, I mean, we're always at war, right? There's always something going on." But he was a positive president. He's the person that implemented Social Security. He's the person that implemented a lot of the acts and the public service programs that we have today for people to assist with people in our country. And so I don't think that it overly has to be negative. But instantly in my brain, I was like, "Yeah, I'm happy," and then like my brain like was like,
Mm.
"Wait a minute, dang, they're just, and because I'm gonna
Yeah,
let
you
you
got,
bring up
yeah,
what I'm
yeah,
thinking, but
yeah.
but I was like, dang, I don't know. It's kind of getting he could abuse that power, but then what if he doesn't? I was just kind of slightly torn. I was
Yeah.
excited at first, but I was torn by setting that precedent.
So we've covered El Salvador, President Bukele multiple times on this podcast, and to be honest, a lot of what he's been doing in the country, we agree with. We like the moves that he's making. Obviously, no one's perfect. Obviously, you're not going to agree with everything that somebody does, but for the most part, his vision for the country is something that you can't deny. And
Yeah,
we've always spoken about how it's almost like we're in the time where these radical presidents are the ones that are making change to these countries, whether you like them or not. The United States, El Salvador, Venezuela, like these countries, they have radical leaders in place, for better, for worse, and they're making change, right? And so my thing when I seen this is I go back to what you said. You have, I think the president of China. I think he's been in office since 2008, 2012, somewhere around there in that range.
mm-hmm.
Um, Look, it's when you have a long-term plan, you almost need to be in office for an extended period of time, right? You see what happens in America. You only get 4 years to make it happen, to make whatever it is that you want to do happen. And typically that time is even shorter because by the time you get in office, you get settled in, and now you're getting ready for if you're going to be elected again. Like these are all things that take up your time. So maybe you only have 3 years to make something happen. Um, and we're constantly having new. It's like it's almost the best way I can compare it to is like a basketball team that's always getting a new coach, a new
Yeah,
system, new way of thinking, and which it could be a good thing. It definitely could be a good thing. But if you want to build a legacy, if you want to build something long term, if you want the Phil Jackson, the Popovich,
yeah,
you got to leave that person in for an extended period of time. Now, is he the right person to do that? I hope so. Like, I want to see El Salvador succeed. I don't want him to abuse the power.
yeah.
But that's what I'm looking at, right? We always talk about, um, I think you mentioned China, how they have like 100-year plans for the
It's
countries and
200.
their
Yeah,
families,
200-year plan. Yeah,
200-year plans. And so
yeah,
I could imagine he has the same thing for the country. You talk about Bitcoin City, whether that's
Right.
going to go through or not. It's at least I think it's a part of the plan. That's going to take some time to implement. And if you have somebody else that comes in that thinks totally different, they're like, "Yo, I'm not messing with Bitcoin. I'm not messing with Bitcoin cities," and there goes that plan.
That's right. I feel like it swings, like the pendulum swings so far in America. Because if you want an
Yeah.
example, here's the thing. Just like you said, really, politicians, especially the president, they only have 2 years. And the
Yeah.
reason for that is because midterm elections, usually the House and the Senate is the balance of power, right? Is usually the opposite is who's controlling Congress, right? That's usually how it works. The president may be a Democrat or Republican, and in the House, Congress is the opposite, right? It just so happened that now it's both Republican in Congress, and you know they run that in, and they run the presidency. So you see a lot of the legislation and stuff leaning toward that direction. But usually in America, you fight, right? And
Mhm.
it's a fight for 2 years, and you only get
Yeah.
2 years because the first year you're trying to figure it out and figure things going. Then mid-year happens in the second year, and then you may have some people that come in that support you. And then the last year, you're trying to set it up for the person that's coming in next if you haven't, right? So you're campaigning with the next person,
Mhm.
especially if you're not
Mhm.
able to run again. Trump's not able to run again. I think he just mentioned after they announced this, I saw where Trump was like, he wouldn't seek a third term or something. He couldn't anyway, but whatever.
Mhm.
That's obviously part of the conversation
Right. Right. Right.
because you don't want people setting the precedent, and I don't think that would be good in America simply because just and it isn't just Trump; it's anybody. We've shown that our politicians, and people would say, well, everybody's politicians are corrupt. Maybe so,
Yeah.
but we've shown where ours are like to the to the
Yeah.
nth degree, and they're like everybody's like that, and I'm like, you know,
Yeah.
and I don't know, maybe they're right, maybe they're right, but I think it's good that America, the system that we have, minus like maybe the electoral
True.
college or stuff like that, I think it's a good system. You need that.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to
Like I
see a
said,
president that long.
and no, that's a great point. I like that you brought that up. And to me, I think the biggest difference is again, I go back to the 2024 election with Bukele.
Mhm.
85% of the vote.
Yeah,
I don't remember the last. I don't even know if there's been a time where we voted
never
for
happened.
someone and it was 85%. It's
Maybe
usually
maybe
very
George
split.
Washington, maybe George
Okay.
Washington,
Yeah.
something like that. Yeah.
So and the thing that we wanted to bring up is and I brought this up to other people in my circle, like, hey, did you see what President Bukele did? And they're like, what did he do? And I'm like, yo, no more presidential term limits. And they were all like, yo, I hope Donald, this is what they said out of their mouth, okay? I hope Donald Trump don't get any ideas.
I agree. I agree. I agree. If that I told you if that happens, I'd have to, man, I don't even know if I could do PR. Like I literally have to like I don't know, bro.
I
Like
can see you in
it's
Brazil or
yes, yeah,
Brazil,
some
Colombia or something.
yeah, something like that, bro. Because it's just I don't think I could do that. 4 years, good, solid enough for me. I mean, Biden's 4 years was rough, so it's really like 8 years. So I was kind of like, dang, we suffering here. So, but like, man, yeah, I don't know. How do you feel about that? Like, what would you do if he was if they like Congress approved it and he just stayed in office?
Yeah, man, I would honestly, that would, I would immediately have to have a conversation with my family and be like, what are we doing? Is this something, do we see ourselves here long term? Like that would be the first
Right,
conversation.
right,
And look, we've always spoken about on this platform having a backup plan. Like, are
yeah,
there other countries that we're interested in? Can we get dual citizenship somewhere?
yeah,
Because you just never know. Um, yeah, man, that was my initial thought. Like, I would have to have a conversation. Like, yo, is this somewhere you want to be for a while? Do you want to dip out somewhere else? And it's not necessarily like us running away from problems, and it's I think it's aligning yourself with people and maybe a country that has the same values as you.
I think you want to live. I think you want to live a better life.
Yeah.
That's how I see it. You want to live a better life, and like that may not be in that space. If that happened, I don't think this would be. There's a ton of us here in this country that maybe could live better elsewhere.
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah,
I'm trying to look for the biggest like landslide win. I'm just curious.
it had to be like some way back or something. I would think.
James Monroe in 1820.
Yeah, yeah.
Electoral college vote percentage 99%.
Who was his? Who was his? Who was he against his opponent?
John Quincy Adams.
Oh man,
If I'm reading
yeah,
this right, yeah, Monroe would have
John
been.
Quincy. John Quincy ran for a re-election
Wow.
because he got in because of his dad, John
And you
Adams.
and you were right. It's just funny because Monroe is number three. Number one and two is George Washington. He
Yeah,
ran unopposed twice
yeah,
for the creation of the position
yeah,
and won every electoral vote on each occasion.
yeah. I mean,
That's
the
wild.
dude
I didn't
won
know that.
the revolution. He ran the Revolutionary
Yeah.
War. So he's a general. So you weren't going to go up against him. That's
Mhm.
pointless.
So okay, let's ask this question.
Mm,
God forbid, um, something like this happens in the United States. You have the
yeah,
conversation with your wife. Um, let's just say PR, like, okay, right now it's not an independent country. Maybe in a couple years it will be.
right.
What are three countries that you would consider moving to?
Colombia,
Okay.
Argentina, um, and Ghana.
Africa. Okay, I like
Yeah,
that. Okay, I like that. Yeah, I think I definitely look. You know me, I'm about to say Japan's up there.
yeah,
Japan.
because you
The
go to
only thing
Japan.
about Japan is, um, if you want to have residency out there, you got to give up your U.S. passport to do that. You can't have dual citizenship.
Yeah, I don't think I'd want to do that because
Yeah,
here's the thing. I think Trump's like 80.
true.
I
That's
mean,
another thing. That's true. That's true.
he what he got another 7 8 years. Let's be honest. I'm not trying to be like morbid
Mhm.
or anything, but like max 10 years. Like you know, and if he's older and his mind is slipping, which it's already slipping,
It
but
kind of is.
anyway,
He's been
if
slipping
it's already
literally.
slipping, but if his mind is Joe Biden is right, then they'll take it away from him. So it's like, do I really want to give up? And at that time, like I'll just be 48. Like I got a whole
Mhm,
nother 30, 40 years of life to live. Do I want
mhm.
to give up my
Right.
citizenship to like no,
Exactly.
I don't want to do that. So
Right.
I
100%.
couldn't do the Japan, but I know you love Japan.
Yeah, but my thing is, I wouldn't. I do everything I can not to give up the citizenship. So whether it's like, yo, we go out there for that 7 years or whatever, and
Yeah.
come
Oh yeah.
back, or I'm a big fan of, having. You have property in multiple places
Yeah.
in America, so I'm a big fan of
Yeah.
doing that as well. Cool. I wanted to. Dang it! I just had it pulled up. Something that you posted in the Facebook group. I just had it pulled up. Let me scroll to it real quick. Some pretty good information. And while I pull this up, if you guys have any thoughts about what we just went over, let us know what you think in the comment section down below.
I want to hear what three countries you guys would move to. So if you would move, some not saying that you might like it if he got right, and definitely if he was the president. But if that wouldn't be your cup of tea, where would you move? I'm very interested to see
I'd
what you guys
probably say Japan, DR, and I'm
do.
thinking Brazil.
I was gonna say DR, but I don't know. I feel like that's obvious. I was trying to give three. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
because it's like the cousin. Like, I would. It's kind of like, duh. But
yeah.
like, no, I'm with you, 100%. I agree. Those are good
Cool.
selections.
So, real quick, as we start to wrap this episode up, you posted this July 17th. I wanted to go over it last week, but we just totally forgot about it. It says flipping $1,000 into $1 million. All right. So, the
Hmm.
first question that I have is this a projection of what you think, or break this down what this is right here?
No, so this is actually if you had placed $1,000, right? What did it take? What was the length of time it took with these respected, right? The respective companies that are listed. How long did it take for you to get that to $1 million?
7 years.
7 years for Bitcoin.
Wow.
So for all the talk and the conversation, all that numbers speak, right? Bitcoin by far, number one. Second to that is Nvidia. Only
Video, yeah.
11 years. $1,000 in 11 years would give you, and this is the rate of growth, right? Google
Hmm.
14 years. Tesla, eh, 15 years. I think those numbers might be readjusted now, but
Hmm.
Tesla had previous to this year, it's had a great run, right? Netflix,
Hmm.
17 years. Apple, like look at the Mag 7 is right
Hmm.
there. Starbucks,
Yep.
30 years. Amazon, 25 years. Apple, 24 years. Microsoft, 34 years. Costco, 35 years. So what does this say to you, Chris? Like, what does this say to you? What does this say to you? I mean, it
To
says something to me.
me,
What does it say to
it says
you?
long term is the way to go. You got to think long term.
That's right.
Like I'm not getting caught up in people got the penny stocks, the newest AI stock, the newest this, the
Yeah.
newest shiny object. How much money can I make this year if you just put your money into quality companies, a quality asset? Even look, I know 35 years is a long time, but
It's a
only
long
putting
time.
$1,000 into Costco and leaving it in there for 35 years and you have $1 million, come on, you can't go wrong with that.
And if you actually played the game correctly, and if you look at it right, I mean, we all understand how an inflection point exponentially tech grows. So if you're looking at this, the top half, or the majority of them is actually tech based. But what you could do is you could take like, I don't know, the top four, Bitcoin, Nvidia, Google, and Tesla, and you split that in
Hmm.
half. And then you take the next four, and if you invested the same amount of money, so $1,000 in each, right? And that's $4,000, total $8,000, you could actually hedge it, right? You could
Hmm.
split it. Some are
So
going to
this,
take longer, others are a lot quicker. You can put that money and see it grow quicker in others, and although it's more risky. And then the bottom ones are less risky, right? You're probably not going to lose hardly any money, but it takes longer time periods. So that's kind of how I look at it. It's like three kind of,
mhm,
I won't say three categories, but it's kind of like three tiers
100%. And I
for
love what
placing
you
your
put up.
money.
I love what you put at the bottom. It says whether it's patience or risk taking, the real
Real
move
move
is
planning.
starting now. Planting that tree. What's the quote? They say the best time to plant a tree was yesterday. The second best time is right now. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? It's so cliche to say, but it's the reason why people say it over and over again.
Yeah. You got to start at some time. I mean, obviously, the top ones are more risky. So, like I said, whether it's you taking the risk and seeing the vision of someone, and it takes a little time to grow, right? Or you do it with the names that are known, and you just
Hmm.
keep your money in those and let it sit. But either way it goes, you got to start investing now. You have to start investing in your future,
Got
investing
invested
in,
now. Yeah.
yeah, getting yourself to that next
Figure out what your risk
level.
tolerance is. Like,
It's
yo, do I want to get risky? Do I understand Bitcoin? Do I understand NVIDIA? If
right,
not, I'm sure you understand Costco and Microsoft.
exactly.
This is good. I like this. Did you, as we start to wrap up, did you see the story about the individual that had like, I don't know, like $700 million of Bitcoin on a hard drive and he accidentally threw it away? So
No,
it was, I think it was like,
what?
you got to look up the story. So let me see if I can pull it up right now.
Did you say
Let me just
seven
type it
hundred
in.
million
Bro,
dollars?
guy loses Bitcoin and oh, bro, you're gonna be sick when you see this.
Oh,
Uh,
man.
okay. So I'm gonna share it. And now we're just extended content for y'all, but I wanted to show this to Jeremiah. So man who lost $800 million of Bitcoin in
Okay.
landfill wants to buy the garage, the garbage dump. He wants to buy the whole thing because I don't know if it'll say it in this article. Yeah, after accidentally throwing away the hard drive in 2013. So he had a bunch of Bitcoin on a hard drive and he was doing an interview and he was like, "Yo, I thought I moved all my Bitcoin to my new hard drive." And he threw away the hard drive and it went to the landfill and he noticed like, "Yo, I have nothing." Like it's or what happened was he started seeing people making money with Bitcoin and he was like, "Oh, yo, I got Bitcoin." And come to find out, he ain't got no Bitcoin. It's in the landfill. So ever since he found out that he threw it away, he's been looking in the landfill. It's been like a journey of him like going through the landfill looking for this hard drive. And I bring it up because he recently ended his search. He said, "Yo, I can't find it. I'm done." $800 million of Bitcoin on a hard drive. Jeremiah's speech. Yeah, it's crazy.
I don't even. I mean, anything that I could say is I'm sick. Like literally,
Yeah.
there's not hardly a time that I don't talk. I'm speechless.
Hmm.
That's
And he recently, I think I seen the video come out like 2 days ago. He's like, "Yo, I can't find it. Like I've been looking for, I think it's been over 10
duh,
years."
duh.
But
I'm
man,
not gonna
like,
find it. It's in a landfill. Like, bro, you
so this article, I didn't know about this, but this came out, oh, this was at the beginning of the year. But I guess at the beginning of the year, he wanted to buy the dump and probably just like take the rest of his life to try to find this stuff.
But the question is, where does he get the 70 million from that he's offering?
Good point. Very good point. But that's actually a good point because somebody was like, "Yo, if I was close to a billionaire, ain't nobody gonna know about it, right?" So that's a good point.
Hey, something tells me if you got 70 million to go and buy that dump, where'd you get that 70 million from?
Hmm. That's a lot of bread in itself.
It is.
Yeah. So crazy story of the day.
Jesus, man. That's the most sickening story of the day. That had my stomach hurting. That's crazy.
Yeah, wild man. I just
Bro,
couldn't
that's crazy
imagine.
work. That's that's
Crazy
crazy,
work, bro.
nasty work right there.
That is a good question. I'm gonna look that up after. Like, what did he do to generate $70 million?
Yeah, because it was like, yo, I got $70 million. I'm like,
Maybe you think there's some type of like loan he can get or negotiation with somebody like, "Yo, if
man,
you buy this
I
joint,
don't even
I'm
know.
gonna
I
give
mean,
you."
so for me, here's the thing. Everything is on the blockchain. So
Correct.
if you knew the date or around the date when you purchased that Bitcoin, you should be able to go back to the blockchain and, you
Hmm.
know, pull something together or figure out how to, I don't know.
He said something. But I guess from, I
Woo.
mean, shout out to him, but in his scenario, I guess when he threw it away, he knew exactly what landfill it went to. It's not like out here in America where, you just throw something away, you don't know where the heck it goes. He knew where it went.
That's what he's telling you.
Yeah.
You've been searching for 10 years and he didn't find it. I mean, and here's the thing though, they're still bringing trash to it. So you're never gonna,
It doesn't decompose.
yeah, man, come on, man. You're wilding.
Yeah. I mean, look, that's what he says. I don't know if the story's true because you know how we got
Is
stories
it
of
even
people.
true? Yeah, I was like, yo, is it even true? And then if it is, like I said, where'd you get the 70 million from to buy the dump?
Because people it was popular at one point that people was coming out saying like they were Satoshi.
Yeah, yeah. That's the dumbest thing in the world.
There was people coming out like, "Yo, I'm him." I created
I,
Bitcoin.
I think that there wasn't one man himself. I think that those letters were the group. I think they were the names of the people in the group that helped to create it and write the code and stuff like that. But what do I know?
Yeah, I don't think there's one person either. There's no way. Because
No,
you got to be like a mathematician, you got to be a scientist, you got to be all
exactly.
types of.
I think it was a group of people. I'm pretty sure it was, or maybe a government.
Maybe somebody gave us that information.
Maybe they did.
All right, y'all, we getting crazy now. We're actually not getting crazy because you just never know.
No, I'm
If
being
you really
I'm
look
being
at the history
serious.
of Bitcoin, like you would be shocked.
I'm being serious, dude. You know what? Like he makes me feel so good about myself, and I'm gonna tell you why he makes me feel good about myself. Guys, super short story to end this off. I bought into Bitcoin when it was $65,
Hmm.
and I bought a considerable amount. And then I called myself being smart. I got out in 2018, and I sold it because I was like, I think it hit like $19,000. And you looking at me like that. I mean, but that's a big profit. But I mean, I'm usually mad at myself that I didn't keep the right, and now I'd be up. But man, you make me feel better about myself, bro. So
Yeah,
no,
100%.
800. I'm nowhere near that. So you
Yeah.
know, we good.
I mean, that's tough, man. Like I do remember like back in 2018, 2019, it was like $19,000. I'm like, you.
Yeah, I sold it. That's when I sold into 2018. That's when I sold it.
Hmm,
Yeah.
okay. Moral of the story, hold on to that Bitcoin.
Hold on to Bitcoin. Listen to Michael Saylor. Michael Saylor would not lie to you. Think about it.
Yeah. And pretty soon America gonna be going to him for the Bitcoin.
100%.
We
100%.
need some of that.
He's smart. He's a smart man. He knows what's
Very.
coming. Smart man.
All right, y'all. If y'all learned anything in this episode, leave a comment down below. And honestly, we're talking about Bitcoin. This all ties back to President Bukele and what he's
Yes.
trying to accomplish in El Salvador, Bitcoin City, how he legalized it as a legal tender in El Salvador. So it all comes together, right? So leave a comment down below what you guys think, what your thoughts are. And as always, it's the Latin Most family. We'll catch you on the next one. Peace.
Peace, guys.